Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. First and foremost, I want to ask you guys, I am a little tired. You guys know I officiate sports on top of my full-time job as well. And, just definitely spent a Saturday doing this, but I was able to check in on the Iowa Hawkeyes along the way, watch a lot of the game, check out the highlights that have already been dropped. And this is just absolutely incredible, guys. I have no other word for it than to say that Iowa it's just insane, guys, how they can win the way that they do in the fashion that they do. It is absolutely stunning. And at the end of the day, Iowa is 6-1. I mean, what else do you say? I mean, Iowa is 6-1, and it's as much as I want, not want, okay, because that would not be accurate. As much as I am forced to criticize the offense, which of course it was the same old today with the offense. Iowa is still 6-1, and it's just crazy. And on one hand, being an Iowa fan, I'm of course elated that Iowa is 6-1. But on the other, it's like, damn, could they win any uglier? But I do want to point out that your boy was correct. I told y'all that Iowa's defense was going to bring it today and totally kill it, which they did. They played absolutely fantastic. Iowa's defense to me has gotten better as time has gone on, which is good. They are starting to get more and more pressure on the quarterback. They're flying around the field. They're working hard. They're playing hard. So, Iowa's defense, if Iowa's defense continues to improve like we have been seeing, I mean, the sky is the limit. So I'm going to get this video shared out. Iowa versus Wisconsin post game. The sky is the limit as far as that unit goes, because, I've been saying that I think that this defensive unit has as much talent as any of the other Iowa defenses. Last year's defense had a crap ton of talent, and I think that this year's defense has as much. Iowa's defense has 2 NFL caliber linebackers and Jay Higgins and Nick Jackson. Xavier Wanpa is going to play in the NFL. Cooper DeJean is going to play in the NFL. Is going to be a first rounder. Aaron Graves is going to play in the NFL. By the way, I thought that the way you said Yaya Black's last name, how you said his name was Yaya Black. But after watching the highlights, they said it was Yaha Yaha Black, which, you learn something new every day. I mean, some of you can't get all the names right. But what a game, guys. What a game. Like I said, at the end of the day, Iowa is 6-1, and they're in the driver's seat to win the Big Ten West. As far as the game goes, of course, the defense is the MVP of the game, but LaShawn Williams, what a game from him. It does suck to see that Caleb Johnson continues to struggle to stay healthy. It really does. And that is concerning. I mean, the guy has missed half of the season thus far due to his injury situation. But so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. But, I mean, LaShawn, it's good that Iowa has a veteran guy like LaShawn Williams, and I actually think LaShawn Williams has a lot of talent in his own right. He's very compact. He's very wiggly. He runs hard, and he has been the reason that Iowa has won 2 games, at least offensively. I mean, he has put Iowa on his back twice. He did it against Western Michigan, and he did it today against Wisconsin. So here are the player stats, guys. Deacon Hill, 6 of 14 for 37 yards. Guys, unfortunately, it looks like Iowa is regressing in the passing game. I don't know if it's due to having poor route runners, if it's poor concepts, if it's, Deacon Hill not seeing open guys, if it's, scheme and Brian Ferentz is calling the wrong pass plays at the wrong time to the wrong wide receiver. I don't know what it is, but the pass game is moving backwards. And, Deacon Hill has a very live arm. Hopefully he continues to improve. He has a very big arm, and Wisconsin's defense is a decent defense, but at the same time, guys, the only difference between this game offensively and any other game is that, LaShawn Williams was able to have a massive day. And that was the difference in this game, in Iowa defeating Wisconsin and Wisconsin losing to the Hawkeyes, was LaShawn Williams. LaShawn Williams, 25 carries for 174 yards. He almost hit the 200-yard mark. Caleb Johnson, 17 carries, 35 yards. If LaShawn Williams continues to run, guys, he's only a junior. If he continues to run the football this way, he may be the starting running back going into next year and for this season. So, ultimately, I'm in favor of having whoever the most talented or whoever gives you the best chance to win in at quarterback. But LaShawn Williams is putting on a massive case to get more and more touches. Caleb Johnson, 17 carries for 35 yards. Seth Anderson, 1 carry, 16 yards. Nico Reganey, 1 for 5. Eric All, 2 receptions for 19 yards. Pretty much, he had the one big one in the first quarter, and then that was pretty much it. We barely heard from him the rest of the night. Walk-on Johnny Pascuzzi out of Minnesota got a catch. Nico Reganey, 2 receptions for 13 yards. I mean, it's just crazy how poor Iowa's pass game is. I mean, it is atrocious. Wetschen had a pretty good return day. Cooper DeJean didn't really have a chance. Credit Wisconsin for that. Drew Stevens, 2 for 2 after having a tough week last week. And of course, Tory Taylor, punting is winning. Punting is winning. Tory Taylor, massive day at the punter position. Let's take a look at Wisconsin here. Tanner Mordecai went out in the second quarter with a hand injury. There was, I saw a Twitter or a tweet rather from the game where he looks to the sideline and says, I can't throw. And, he was definitely ruled out after that. Braden Locke came in and still had a slightly better day than Deacon Hill, but, Iowa got the win. Braylon Allen, 18 carries, 87 yards, but he had a massive fourth down fumble that he would have had a first down, But had Sebastian Castro not made the biggest play, Sebastian Castro is going to play in the NFL, guys. He's having a great season. Had he not made that massive hit and then stuck with it to get the fumble recovery, that would have been a first down, and perhaps Wisconsin would have got the ball back. Jackson Aker, 3 carries, 10 yards. Tanner Mordecai, 4 for 8. Here's the receiving numbers. Must be nice to have a receiver that can haul in 88 yards of receiving. Oh, man. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, Iowa, what can I say? Iowa is 6-1. They're in the driver's seat. As far as the record goes, I could not be a happier guy. And ultimately I lean on the side of just win, baby. And Iowa continues to do that. They continue to just, ultimately sports comes down to, do you do what you do really good better than what the other team does really good? And Iowa has done what they do better than the other team 6 times this year. And the one time they didn't, they got shellacked. So, and ultimately, I think that's kind of what this comes down to for Iowa, is that, the reason why lately they've gotten shellacked by Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State is because, Iowa, a team like Iowa, that playing the way that they play works really well against teams like Wisconsin and pretty much all the teams in the Big Ten West. But when you play an elite ball club with an elite offense, there's only so much that your defense can take before it breaks. And if your offense is not providing any relief, it's just too much. And that's the difference. A team like Wisconsin has a decent offense and an above average defense. A team like Ohio State has an elite offense, good defense, really good defense, it's across the board. And if you cannot help your defense out, either in the run game or the pass game, you're in trouble. Let's look at the team stats, and then I'll look at the comments. Iowa outgained for the 3rd week in a row and still winning the football game. Can you believe that, guys? Iowa has been outgained for the 3rd week in a row and still won the football game. Incredible. 200 rush yards. That's encouraging, though. The 200 rush yards, especially against Wisconsin, is encouraging. Not only 9 first downs, again, terrible. I read an article last week that Iowa is pretty much at this point a big play offense. And if they don't hit on big plays and score points on those big plays, they're going to have massive issues scoring any points because Brian Ferentz just is not a good offensive coordinator, and he cannot call plays. He is not a good enough offensive coordinator to call plays on an 80-yard drive to a touchdown. He can't do it. In other words, the only way that his offense is going to score is if one of the plays that he calls happens to go in the first drive or the first couple plays of the first drive. There might, the most he can go is 3 first downs, and that's as far as he can think ahead and get his offense and strategize. And, but if a big play doesn't hit, he's all out of ideas. So that's incredible. Iowa did actually win the time of possession for this game, and had 0 turnovers. They ran 62 total plays to Wisconsin 78. All right, guys, let me see what you guys are saying. So, I mean, I'm conflicted, guys. I really am. I'm so happy that Iowa is 6-1. But on the other hand, the offense is what it is, and I don't want to come on here each and every week saying this about the offense. At some point, it just kind of is what it is. And, if this is how Iowa wins games, I don't know. Maybe it's how they win games. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Roger Edwards, go Hawks. Thanks, Roger. Can Iowa run the table without an offense? I don't see why not, guys, honestly. And that's kind of, there were a lot of people writing about that in the offseason, that if Iowa found a way to take advantage of the schedule outside of Penn State, it would provide Brian Ferentz with much needed relief outside of the actual production of his offense. So, I don't see why not, guys. I mean, Wisconsin was the other good team in the conference. I think Nebraska might be a tricky game. Minnesota might be a tricky game. But, if Iowa can go on the road and beat Wisconsin, yes, I don't see why they cannot run the table. Jason Thornton, Roger Edwards, we got Noah Shannon back too with our defense. I thought, I'm still kind of confused by that. I thought that I read in Kirk Ferentz's presser that the decision has not been made yet on that, but I could be mistaken. I need to look into that more. Spaceboy 74, that may be a first where a Power 5 school won a game with only 37 passing yards. It's classic Iowa, guys. Iowa has won 3 games in a row being outgained by the other team. Their offense will look better against the rest of the table, perhaps. Roger Edward, Porkchop Hill is horrible. Jason Thornton, they could win the rest of their games and they can lose the rest of their games. It's crazy. They will be favored in the rest of their games. I would agree with that. No, it's pronounced Y-A. That's right. You're right. Sickle. You're right. That is what it is. I was very surprised by that. I've been calling him Yaya for the past 2 years now. So thank you for that. Yeah, it's YA, or that's at least what the announcer said. Let's see. I think Spaceboy, I think Williams should always be starting personally. Best all-around back we've had since Mekhi Sargent. Could be. I think LaShawn Williams is a good running back. I really do. Roger Williams, next man up. Spaceboy, our passing game is beyond my understanding. How can a Power 5 school be this bad passing wise? Has to be the worst in history of college football, not exaggerating. Just so you guys are aware, all Iowa fans, Iowa is last or close to last in almost every major offensive statistical category. Last week, when I did my game preview, Iowa was literally last in total offense. And it defies logic. That's the whole point, that they're still able to win games with that being said. But I really think that once Iowa loses Tory Taylor, if they continue playing football this way, they're going to struggle to win, because Tory Taylor is a once-in-a-lifetime punter. Hill is the statue they can't run with if his life depended on it. I don't know if I agree. I think he can get moving. He's just not very agile, but he is a big fella and he is hard to take down. To be fair, it's kind of hard to tell when a blitzer has a wide open shot to the quarterback and you don't really get a chance to see the escapability of the quarterback. But he has a big arm. I'll say that. Very big arm. Offense line looked a little better. I would agree with that. Space Boy, should Castro have run that interception back for the TD? What do you guys think? I was thinking the same thing. I think it's classy, and I think that's what Iowa football is classy. So I'm okay with him deciding to do that. I'm okay with it. Roger Edwards, Taylor should be good. Get to punt 40 times a game. Leroy Watermelon, Iowa being 6-1 is like the smartest kid. Roger, it's YouTube, guys. I gotta let that go. Roger Edwards, ugliest game of all time. Spaceboy 74, guys, we are seriously looking at being into the championship game. Let that sink in for a minute. I'm not saying that excitedly. Yeah, it's crazy. Ugliest game all time, the 6-4 Iowa victory over Penn State years ago. Roger Edwards, don't think so. We have Porkchop Hill. Money to Hill, sponsored for Fairway Meats. Tatloni. It's always great to beat Wisconsin. I agree with that. Always great. Wisconsin, for me personally, for those of you guys who have been watching me for a long time, the team that I cannot stand the most is Wisconsin, because they have been the biggest thorn in Iowa's side. It's not Iowa State, because I don't live in Iowa. I don't have the same animosity for them that some of you in-staters have. Okay. I respect it and whatnot. And I have family members who are Iowa State fans, because my family in Iowa lives in central Iowa, the Fort Dodge, Des Moines area. But it just doesn't mean as much to me. Whereas the Wisconsin game has always been the deciding factor for whether Iowa plays in the Big Ten championship game. And honestly, if Iowa loses to Iowa State, it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. In fact, Iowa has lost to Iowa State and gone on to have a 10+ win season. So Iowa going to Indianapolis. It's looking good so far. Paul Hoffer taking Bucky down. Sado Sifical. No turnovers. Very true. The Nebraska game scares me. Same here. No, you're good, Leroy. You're good. It's not me, it's YouTube. Okay. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. That's gonna do it. There's not really a ton more to say on this game. Again, Iowa 6-1. Very happy about that. Not happy about the offense, but it's hard to have everything you want in this life. So maybe I should just be a more understanding fan and not come on here talking about the offense, but I just can't help it, guys. I mean, it's terrible. And, I can't help but think to myself, man, if Iowa's offense could just not be the worst in all of college football, Iowa could really be a college football playoff type team. And I know some people say that that's a pipe dream, but it's really not, guys. I mean, if you see what Iowa is willing or capable of doing with this type of team, okay, with the way that they win games, if they had an offense that could actually do a little something every now and again, shoot. Now, I will say it's good that they have the run game going on in the past 2 weeks, but still. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I will be doing the Big Ten Whip Around show tomorrow. Be sure to catch that. And of course, the game preview. I don't even know who Iowa plays next. Let me see before I exit out of here. By the way, guys, I want to use this opportunity just to thank all of you guys for subscribing and watching the channel. It means a lot. It really does. And it's an honor to be able to do something like this and talk with you guys. And, whether we agree or disagree with stuff about the Iowa Hawkeyes, I appreciate it all the same. I really think Iowa fans are the best in the world. And you guys are just the best. So looks like Iowa plays Minnesota next week. And then I believe they have a bye after Minnesota. So if Iowa can go 7-1 going into the week, the bye, we'd be golden, guys. We'd be golden. Last thing is, I would definitely expect Iowa to be in the top 25 after their victory over Wisconsin. So be on the lookout for that. All right, guys. Last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy with low and facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.